The man who stole Lady Gaga's French bulldogs last year while shooting and injuring her dog walker accepted a plea deal agreement and received a 21-year sentence. Detectives believe the French bulldog's high worth drove the burglars as a breed, which may reach thousands of dollars, rather than the knowledge that the dog belonged to the musician. Fisher, 41, came to California for the occasion and delivered an emotional victim's impact statement after the shooter, 20-year-old James Howard Jackson, pleaded no guilty to attempted murder with serious bodily injury and acknowledged a prior strike. The robbery and weapon charges were dropped due to the last-minute plea agreement. He had been accused of trying to kill someone, planning a robbery, and assaulting with a semi-automatic weapon. Harold White, another conspirator, entered a no-contest plea on Monday and will be sentenced in 2019. Jalen White's son entered a no-contest plea to a second-degree robbery earlier this year and was given a 4-year state prison sentence. Lafayette Whaley entered a no-contest plea for the same offense and was given a 6-year sentence. Ryan Fisher, the pop star's dog walker, was severely hurt in the incident and spoke to the court to make an impact statement, which he put on Instagram. "It's hard to believe it's been almost 2 years since I took Asia, Koji, and Gustav for an evening stroll, when I found myself using every ounce of strength to keep those dogs from being stolen. I was bitten, shot, and left to die on a sidewalk while gasping for air, but it wasn't enough. Gustav and Koji had also left." Ryan Fisher was shot in the chest with a .40 caliber revolver in February of last year, and the attackers managed to escape with 2 of the singer's 3 French bulldogs, Koji and Gustav. Miss Asia, the third, was able to flee and was subsequently found and seen being transported home by one of Gaga's bodyguards. A few days later, Jennifer McBride, who was eventually accused of the crime, found the other 2 dogs. The case of McBride is ongoing. Prosecutors earlier said that Jackson and 2 other individuals were searching for French bulldogs while they drove across Hollywood, West Hollywood, and the San Fernando Valley. Fisher was discovered with the pop star's 3 dogs in a block of North Sierra Bonita Avenue near Sunset Boulevard. Fisher claimed that when the dog nappers approached him and demanded that he give over the 3 animals during a covert grand jury hearing last year, he was puzzled at first. They indicated that they wanted the dogs by pointing down at them, and I responded, "No." I then began to scream for aid and tried to defend myself, Fisher stated. During the struggle, he claimed the shooter shoved him against a concrete wall and beat him with a bottle he had just purchased nearby. Fisher compelled himself to become free to approach Koji. "The dog whined at me, and I grabbed for him, and then the man with the pistol, shot me as I was reaching," he said. He collapsed on the ground after his attackers had departed. Before leaving Fisher's body under his shoulder blade, the bullet entered his upper right thorax, very adjacent to my brachial plexus and collarbone area, he explained. "I was leaning forward, attempting to catch Koji, so it went through my lung." Fisher was left on the ground crying for help as the attackers took the dogs Koji and Gustav and went back into the vehicle's back seat. When the attacker's vehicle vanished from view, the singer's other bulldog, Miss Asia, raced back to Fisher lying on the ground. Ryan, yelling for assistance, may be heard on a recording made by a Ring camera from home close to the shooting. "Oh my God, I've been shot! Help me!" he pleaded. "I'm bleeding out from my chest!" When police got on the scene, they found Fisher badly hurt but still conscious. Fisher was then transferred to a local hospital. While acknowledging a later social media post, he stated, "Had a very close call with death." Fisher continued, "But I look forward to the future and the day when I get assaulted with love and licks and maybe even an excitement pee." Asia, Koji, and Gustav contributed. He continued by describing the specifics of his hospital stay, including lung collapse after lung collapse and eventually surgery and partial removal. Ryan Fisher also discussed how the medical professionals treated him, how slim his prospects of survival were due to his blood pressure irregularities, and how he had given up hope of surviving that evening. But a miracle occurred and Ryan was rescued. In addition to physical treatment to regain movement and sensation in his shoulder, chest, and hand, he went into debt, considered suicide, and struggled and continued to struggle with my identity and how to get past such a life-changing, earth-shattering catastrophe. He continued throughout the previous year. He talked about how Lady Gaga has been his steadfast ally during his recovery. He stated, "She's been a huge help to me. She's been my buddy. And after I was attacked, my family was flown out. Trauma therapists were brought to me, and I spent months at her house while friends consoled me and security was all around me." Ryan Fisher also discussed the GoFundMe page he had created following the incident. He stated, "Right now, LG is very supportive of my quest, but I believe that many others find it difficult to comprehend why someone would approach healing in this manner. There is something about giving up your resources, giving up your possessions, and offering that to society that appeals to me as a Catholic Jesuit." Jackson and the other attackers were specifically mentioned by name by Fisher in the message, and he expressed his forgiveness to both of them. "I sincerely apologize to you and the other attackers." He added, "You dramatically changed my life, and I know I can't go on from the night you shot me until I uttered those things to you. I also want to thank you for not hurting or destroying the dogs after the news of their kidnapping reached the media. They were giving back to their mother. If they had passed away, I doubt I could have survived." When the dogs went missing, the pop artist offered a $500,000 prize, no questions asked, to be reunited with them. She begged her 53 million Instagram followers at the time, saying, "My heart is sick and I'm praying my family will be well again with a kind act." After Lady Gaga offered a $500,000 prize, Jennifer McBride, 52, brought the dogs back to the neighborhood police station. McBride allegedly located the pets. Authorities eventually filed one count of accessory after the fact charges against McBride and Harold White, both 42, who were dating at the time of the crime. According to the prosecution, White was charged with one count of firearms possession and McBride was charged with receiving stolen property. Jaylene Kayshawn White's father is White. According to the Associated Press, McBride and the elder White allegedly tried to help the younger White avoid being arrested following the incident. Gaga has referred to Fisher as a hero on social media. She said, "You put your life in danger to defend our family. You will always be a hero." Along with the message, Fisher published a touching post which had the following description. "Here is the impact statement I gave the person who shot me in court. I'll talk more about it in the days to come. Today was emotional, and getting here was a lengthy trip. I want to thank everyone who helped me get here and tell them how much I appreciate it. You have supported me in overcoming my darkest times and returning to the light." It wasn't immediately known who the 5 defendants' lawyers were. The 5 were detained in April concerning the robbery and shooting. James Jackson, a fellow suspect and alleged shooter, was unintentionally freed from custody in April of this year due to a clerical error. Fisher has spoken out publicly about the police search for his shooter, who is still at large as of this writing. "While I am deeply concerned about the events leading up to his release," Fisher said, "I am confident the law enforcement will correct the error. I request that Mr. Jackson turn himself into the authorities so that the resolution of the crime against me proceeds in his direction, as determined by the courts." Jackson was the subject of a $5,000 reward issued by authorities in July for information regarding his whereabouts. This effort ended in his second arrest on August 3rd in Palmdale, California. During a raid by deputies and U.S. Marshals, Jackson was taken back into custody, which stated that the arrest occurred without incident. Jackson was initially charged with attempted murder, robbery conspiracy, and assault with a semi-automatic weapon. According to the Los Angeles Times, Jackson pleaded not guilty. That's all we've got for today, guys. Also, don't forget to thumbs up the video and subscribe for more entertaining content, and we'll see you again soon.